welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining me again today as we continue to explore who God is. The last several days we've been looking at God as light, and I'm going to continue that theme today. In John chapter 1 it says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." That life was the light of all people. And that light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I want to think today a little bit about the idea that light is an energy. Light is full of energy and power. Darkness isn't. Darkness is nothing. It has no energy. It has no substance. It just is, it's nothing. It is light that has energy and power. We see all around us solar panels, and they capture the light energy from the sun and transform it into electrical energy for our houses and our computers. You may be watching right now this talk today, and you're watching it, and some of the power that you're using might be solar power. It may have come from light itself. Light is full of energy. And I think that's a good picture of God. It's part of what he is or who he is. God is energy. He's full of life and power, and darkness isn't. And the reality is darkness is kind of cold and empty and void, but when the light comes, all of a sudden energy is available. And isn't that like our God? As his light shines into our lives, as we expose ourselves to the light of God. If that solar panel isn't exposed to the light, if you cover it over, it's not going to gain any energy from that light. But if you expose that solar panel to the light, then it absorbs that energy and it becomes accessible to it and to us. And it's the same with the light of God. As we expose ourselves to his life and his light, his energy energizes us. That's part of what I believe it means to be alive in God, is that we are opening ourselves up to who he is, and that energizes our life. Our lives become empowered. Our lives become more enabled to do things. If there's no power there, then it's impossible if my computer has no power, then there's not going to be any functioning. The apps won't function and so on. And I believe it's that way with God. The more we expose ourselves to who he is, the more energized our lives become. And all of the apps that he has built into us, all the gifts and abilities that he has built into us come alive and are empowered, and we are able to function as we were created to function. All of the giftings and all of the blessings that are ours come alive, and his light shining on us, his life shining on us, as we expose ourselves to it, all of those things become empowered. They become what they were created to be. Their potential all of a sudden is able to be realized. I think that is... For me, that's one of the things I love about God, about following Jesus, is that all of our potentials become empowered in our lives. All of our creativity, all of our thinking, all of our love, all of our compassion, all of our ideas, all of our life becomes filled with the very life energy of God himself. That's an amazing and wonderful truth for us today, to know that and it's totally, how do we say it this way? If I have a little tiny solar panel here and I put it in my window, it will give me a little bit of energy. If I put a whole set of solar panels all over the roof of my house, I'll gain a whole lot more energy. If I go out in the desert and build a 5-hectare farm with solar panels, wow, the energy is amazing. I think it's kind of like that with us. The more I expose myself to God, if I just expose myself to God a little bit, yeah, I'll experience his energy, his life, his empowerment. But the more I expose myself to who he is, by spending time with him in the Word, prayer, meditation, spiritual disciplines, worship, whatever it may be, just being aware of his presence, just being present to his presence, I find my life more and more empowered and filled with who He is. And that's just really good news for us today. In Him was life, and that life was the light of the world, and that light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Good news for us today. God bless. We'll talk again tomorrow.